Welcome to the future of money. Come with us on this journey into the world of Bitcoin, blockchain and crypto projects. You're going to meet the trailblazers. These people have changed my life and they may very well do the same for you. Welcome back, hard forkers, to the best crypto culture channel there is. Today, some really special guests. We're joined by Matt and Jordan from REVOMON. So we're going to be learning all about their Platoon Game, which involves VR and AR. First time on this channel to be looking at such a game, so very excited to learn all about this. As always, welcome to my co-host, Mr. Gonzo. Jordan, great to have you here, sir. Tell us a bit about yourself and REVOMON.
So thank you all for the invitation. Glad to be here. So I'm Jordan, CEO of REVOMON. I'm 28. I'm currently based at Liège in Belgium with the development team. And I'm here to introduce a bit more REVOMON. So REVOMON stands for Revolution Monster. It's a Pokemon-like game where you have to catch creatures, so monster, but in virtual reality. That's the concept, where we added a layer of blockchain. So we gathered virtual reality technology with Blockchain One to provide a new game in the virtual reality industry. So REVOMON.
Fantastic. And Matt, what's your role with REVOMON? Tell us a bit about yourself.
So I came across REVOMON quite early on, not long after Jordan had started, looking at doing their fundraise. I was really impressed with what they'd already done with their previous VR game. And I started talking to Jordan, and I helped him out in a strategic advisor type role. So helping navigate some of the crypto elements. I'm based in the UK. As you can probably tell from my accent, focused on primarily the crypto side of things rather than the game side. I'm a VR enthusiast and I've been playing the game, but more focused on the crypto element of things.
Okay, Mr. Gonzo, you've been telling us about REVOMON for a very long time. Very excited about it all. So I'll hand over to you to fire a few questions at the guys.
Sure. Full disclosure, I've known Matt for a while here through one of our crypto groups, and he brought this project to our attention quite early. So I'm in the pre-sale. I've been in the pre-sale. I hold the tokens, eagerly anticipating getting a headset to start playing. I haven't had a chance to yet. So just to let everybody know, that I'm invested in this project, and it's not financial advice. So we're just hanging out, having a chat about this cool new technology coming up. Right from the beginning, we're seeing happening right now, the things that we talked about, 6-8 months ago in January, right? You have these big projects, these great concepts, right? Play to earn, Pokemon, NFTs, blockchain, and then, it takes time to build. It takes a lot of time to build. And a lot of people in crypto don't realize the timeframes involved in video games. I've worked in video games, some AA, AAA platform games, and these are massive, massive undertakings. And I can only imagine how complicated it is when you start mixing in the crypto element, like transactions for every action, every transfer of NFT, all this kind of stuff. So I saw, the VR space is growing quite rapidly. It's not fully mainstream yet because of the hardware, I think. There's the adoption cost of the hardware, which is totally understandable. It's the same as a smartphone, same as a cell phone. These are all technologies I think that'll just become universal eventually. But as it is now, what appealed to me was they have experience building VR games from the side quest of the original Pokemon game, because that wasn't funded, right? That was like you guys just made that as a fan project, right?
Exactly. It started all about being fan of a game, so Pokemon, and we wanted to provide something in the virtual industry, virtual reality industry, where you catch monsters and so on. So we liked Pokemon, so we wanted to make a Pokemon VR game, and it was an unexpected success. So we have seen a lot of players joining, of course, with the name Pokemon VR. We started to build a community around this. So we met a lot of artists, a lot of designer, musician, developer as well. We started to see a lot of influencers creating content about the game. And this pushed us to become more and more professional about the game, about Pokemon VR. And we started to not playing anymore the game as we used to do before, because we were really close to the community, like with the players inside the new town, the new city, explaining the upcoming features and so on. And it became a work, a side work, and we cannot continue, obviously, due to the intellectual property around this. And we think about a new project where we would create our own license, and that's where we came with REVOMON. But that's the game today you can play with REVOMON is a work of more 1.5 years development. So to reach that point, you need a lot of time to develop things, to test, to create synergies, and overall to have a network you can base your work with the artists and so on.
So tell us a bit, where is it at right now? What can people do? Obviously, you mentioned a pre-sale before. Are there opportunities for people to invest in that still? When will gameplay be out? What blockchain are you on?
Now we are at the 1.2 version of the REVOMON Alpha. So it's the second version we published on SideQuest. I will just share my screen to show. That's the game we published on SideQuest. Partnership with them. We already have like 12,000 downloads, around 250 ratings, and that's where people can connect their headsets and just download the game directly in their. It's called side loading. So the game is already published in Alpha 1.2 here.
This latest update that's just been pushed is a really, really big update. You know, the team have been doing a huge amount, considering the original target was have something finished by early next year. Actually, what they've been doing here, getting the first alpha out, seeing how good the reaction has been, seeing how excited people are getting about new REVOMON. They've done an incredible job of adding in new REVOMON, adding in a new town, adding in a new route. There's a lot in here now, so it's great.
That's really cool that you guys already have a second world, and what is it, 22 new REVOMONs? How many do you think that there would be in the end, like monsters?
We have a target of at least 100 by the end of the year. Of course, we take the reference as Pokemon that started with 151 Pokemon in the first generation. So we will try to match these numbers for the first generation. It's all about balancing the team. We have a person dedicated in this mission in order to create synergies, because it's not just design, it's also the statistics of the monsters, the abilities, the nature, the rarities, to create a story for the player and to not giving him, let's say, all the creatures at once.
Really cool. I love the designs. I think it's, again, such a contrast to the rest of crypto where everything is just a base and then randomly generated parts, right? I mean, even the biggest games, like the big token or the big model right now is Axie, but all it is, it's really just a PFP, right? You've got base body, color, different parts, randomly generated when they're minted. So this is cool that so each character has levels of development, right? Like there's 3 phases or 4 phases. Right?
Exactly. We can go up whatever the number, but currently it's between 2 and 4.
Okay. And then how do you upgrade those characters?
By training them. So the more you train them, the more it gain XP, like the game, and then they reach level, and they have a level where they evolve. Okay.
And then I think maybe that's a good segue into like how that ties in with the play to earn and the mechanics in the game, how that would work.
Yeah, so the first mechanic of play to earn in the game is obviously the NFT. So we just started with the NFT. So we have released the protocol in testnet. So it's important 2 days ago. We will stay around 2-3 weeks in testnet to make sure everything is clear, is secure. So it's on the Binance Smart Chain testnet. Then we will migrate on the Binance mainnet, and then the player will be able to catch REVOMON and turn them into NFT through our D app. So this is the first play to earn pillar in our game development. So all the REVOMON you have caught in game can be turned into NFT on our D app and then sold on the marketplace. Okay. So
I think this was really interesting as well. Speaking to Jordan early on, is because this was something that sprang up organically in the Pokemon VR game. Even just where there were no NFTs, there was no like true ownership. People sort of trading characters that had been leveled up and that were rare or shiny or had particularly good attributes. So I think the whole style of the game lends itself really well to this concept of NFTs and ownerships, and actually, having these REVOMON that you truly own and you can trade as you wish.
So the game is free to play, right? Like you just download SideQuest and you get to go. You don't need any assets to play. You don't need an entry fee. You don't need to spend any Revo or anything like that.
Exactly, it's free access. We started with a private access for all the Revo holders, but we don't have this requirement anymore. So everyone that has a VR headset can join the game. So yes, it's free access.
How much are the headsets, Jordan, and where do people get them?
So we recommend to take the Oculus Quest 2. It's around $300 for 128 gigabytes. This new model, it's quite accessible, I would say, compared to the PlayStation 5 or other hardware.
Yeah, you don't need a computer or anything. It's a completely standalone piece of kit. So you get the headset, the controllers, and that's all you need. No computer needed. So it's pretty impressive, really, for quite a light headset as well. It's pretty comfortable.
It was like, I remember a couple generations ago, you had to like plug your phone into it. The phone is gone now. It's just all.
So there's still there's other. So there's like there's ones that you can just plug in your mobile to, like Samsung had the Gear and things where you plug in your phone. This is, I think the Quest is the first headset that's completely standalone without needing a computer connection or anything else put in. So you can see there, Jordan.
This is the Oculus Quest 1. So it's the first one released by Oculus itself, and it's all standalone. So you have all you have is the headset, 2 joysticks like this, and a cable to plug in for the to load in or to connect to the PC.
Oh, nice.
And where Jordan and the guys have an existing relationship with SideQuest, they've been they've got a really good partnership there. So it's actually very easy to get the game on. Like if you're not using SideQuest, it's a little bit more complicated. So I think that's been positive as well.
Right. Yeah, I was going to comment on that. Like, obviously, your relationship with them with the other game, right? They were like, "Oh, these guys are making winners. We'll get them on there easily." Because it seems like a lot of video games and any crypto, getting on a Play Store, getting in anything official is really difficult with all the security and the checks and all the things that you have to do to get approved. So that's great that you guys are already on there. You got support there. So I imagine that would have come from the first game, all that goodwill. So
can you tell us a bit more about the tokenomics of the game? We've got a very large play to earn community. Many of them are there hitting Axie Infinity all day. We've got a few other projects that we're rolling out to them. Tell us about the mechanics of what you guys have got. What could somebody who's looking to generate an income get from the game?
So the base setup has been around NFTs and the ownership of the characters. So what the guys have been building so far has been very focused on building the VR world, which is growing all the time, building the characters, making sure that they have value relative to each other, can be trained, can be improved and traded. There's also going to be events where you can earn Revo token in game. We'll be having promotions around those sorts of things. And then obviously we're looking at broader best practice. As Johnny knows, we spend a lot of time talking about play to earn games and what people are doing, what's working. It's a very exciting time and space. So we're exploring a number of options at the minute about how we can expand that and make it, give people options around the sort of more grinding approach to some of this. And Jordan, I think as well, announced something in the roadmap, but it's sort of like on the sly. I don't think he's actually announced it formally anywhere, but we've added mobile play to the roadmap now. I think for the end of the year, is it, Jordan?
Yes, exactly. So we will start to analyze the game portability by the end of the year, because one thing to keep in mind is that the developers in the team are from. I have been working in a quite famous mobile mobile company development in Belgium. It's called Taptic, and their core expertise is about the mobile development as well. Mm-hmm. So we believe we already made some tests. We believe we would be able to provide the game on mobile. Yeah.
Wow. I read in a Twitter comment, one of the team was saying that you have play to earn planned for the non-VR. Is that what they were talking about?
No, that's different. Okay. Because before starting the mobile portability, we plan to provide play to earn access to non-VR user, and this is through our day app. So we would, I will introduce it a bit now. We will provide some eggs to farm on the D app, and people. It's not the game itself, but it will have synergies between, because you can use, of course, the reward in the game, or sell them to players that didn't farm on the D app. So that's let's say specific rewards for the D app users.
Developing the ecosystem. That's great.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it as well, I think, for all of it, is that the NFTs and anything that's earned anywhere is also always playable in game and wearable in game. We're seeing with the hat, and the diamond hands and all these things that have been given as like early community rewards. Actually, people are going to be able to wear, in game and hold, and like sort of digital swagger, which is nice, really, because that's this whole idea of NFTs and ownership and having your goods digitally and being able to move them between places. So I think it's really good.
Can I ask, technically, I see, you guys are working on Ethereum base, but you're also working on BSC, right? And so how technically is that, like, with the NFTs, minting on BSC and then bridging and all this stuff, how is that going to work? Because that seems like, I've been working with the block dealers, and that was one of the bigger hangups, was being cross-chain and making it accessible for people without like having to have a MetaMask and a Binance Smart Chain wallet and like bridging and all this stuff. That's like, for crypto people, it's like, it's a pain in the ass, but okay, you just deal with it, right? But if you try and introduce someone that has no idea, they're just like, whoa, what's a MetaMask? What's a seed phrase? Like, what do I do with this? So I'm just wondering how that integration is working between the two chains.
I was going to say, just as a base, sorry, Jordan, that one of the things the guys have kept is that you can play the game without any crypto involvement. So if you're just a pure VR user, you can just pick up the game, play, collect your monsters, train, and never interact with the chain. Jordan, sorry, if you wanted to talk about the PS.
So this is the point. So first we target the gamers, of course. So they don't need to set up anything to play the game, except installing the game on the Quest or other VR devices. Now, for the crypto users, we simply deployed on Binance Smart Chain. So we cannot today bridge NFT on Ethereum. Why? Because due of the fees. We have a different concept where we don't mint a limited amount of NFT. It's illimited. So all players that want to convert their REVOMON into NFT should be able to do it. So we don't have a fixed amount of NFT to generate, to mint. That's why we preferred to go directly on Binance Smart Chain to lower the fees. And for now, all the NFT will stay in this ecosystem.
Okay. And the NFTs are unlimited, but they are unique still. So the characters have particular attributes, particular strengths. You train all these things, so they're unlimited, but they're unique. So you can still catch Gauntlet with a particularly strong attack and things like that. So.
Nice.
We've got 1 million games coming up in the GameFi NFT gaming space, guys. What would you say to our community? Why should they check you guys out? What's the point of difference with what you guys have put together? Why are you better?
So basically, we are combining two expertises. So the blockchain and the virtual reality technology, and really few games are are based in virtual reality and blockchain. I believe there are 4, 5 in the crypto ecosystem. So this is already one point, and the second point is that the VR market is completely booming at the moment, due or thanks to COVID. So it's growing as fast as the crypto are growing, and often it's not something the user understand and dig into the matrix to know the growth of Oculus and the number of players, number of downloads, and so on. So it's definitely a nice niche.
Yeah, absolutely.
And its quality. The art is great. Where have you been sourcing your artists? Is that guys you worked with before? Yeah,
we have a few of the artists that we were working with on Pokemon, to create some assets. And now we started to collaborate with some studio that are focusing on the animation and so on. So we have written guidelines that match our world, and that's how we provide our design.
Interesting. Having worked in animation, just this, like the concept of like more and more and more characters becomes a bit of a production nightmare sometimes. There's so many different, having the guidelines set for all the characters and everybody's working under the same templates and just constantly turning out new characters, right? People get that appetite. They're like, oh, where's the new guy? Where's the new guy? Right. And so you kind of like create this monster where everybody's expecting a new, cool, great character. So it's interesting to see that you guys have got a bunch out already, which is awesome.
Yeah. So and you've been working on this for, what did you say, 18 months so far?
Even more, because the core development of the game, so the code and everything, the login and so on, the security and so on, it started at the end of 2019, so more than 1 year and a half. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, our community is certainly going to go and check this out without a doubt, and would love to have you guys back on in the next few weeks and share their sentiments. Mr. Gonzo, any other questions for the guys?
When Revo scholarship, we got to work some details out there. That'll be awesome. I think it would be beneficial for all of us. Because we've got a community that loves playing games and they're interested in all this new stuff. Everybody's learning. So if there's some way we could work something out, that'd be great, I think. I know it's developing, and there's so many ideas, but I'm sure there's some way we can figure it out.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think we were chatting a bit before, weren't we? And it lends itself quite well because there's some upfront requirements. It lends itself pretty well. So yeah. Yeah,
I mean, that was the thing. That was the genesis for Axie, is that, the price floor didn't make it accessible to everybody, but you had a bunch of the community members that were like, hey, I can help you out, right? And there's a similar dynamic happening here, but it's more just with the hardware than the actual assets. The fact that you can play inside, that's really great. without maybe, well, yeah, if you have the headset, you don't need, there's no cost other than that. It's very interesting. Gears are grinding.
It's a whole different dynamic as well. You know, being in the game, the size of some of these Revomons and things looming. It's a whole different dynamic. I've been totally sold on the quest and the quality of it. It's pretty amazing.
Nice. We got to do a VR party somehow. Do you guys have any plans to like break into existing metaverses like Decentraland or things like that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Oh, awesome. We'll see if we can.
Decentraland is quite an interesting one as well, because I was just going to say, Decentraland, they were VR originally, weren't they? If you go back to their original documents, they were talking a lot about VR. So yeah, no, definitely something we're looking at.
You can still use it with VR, can't you? I mean, it's not like they took
Apparently
it away.
Not.
Oh, really?
I've been trying, but
okay.
I was told that it's not actually supported right now. So,
okay.
But it was for quite a while. So they must have paused support, I think.
Right. Get back into it once it gets.
So, any other thoughts on the overall space, guys? What obviously you've actually sort of brought blockchain gaming to the forefront here. What are your thoughts on the overall space? How fast do you see it continuing to grow? What obviously great what you guys are doing with VR and AR. That's the obvious progression here, and you guys sound like you're right at the forefront of that. But what are your thoughts on the overall sort of sector industry in NFT gaming?
Yeah, Matthew.
So I think Axie's been interesting for a lot of us. I know Johnny's been like the earliest advocate I came across for Axie, I think. But this whole idea that you can, make a social difference with a game, and you can create an ecosystem where there's digital value being created in a digital world that's being traded. People are gaining real world improvements to their lives through Axie and SLP. The whole tokenomics of it, about how a lot of the money stays in the ecosystem, from the managers and things investing in new teams. It's a hugely interesting area, I think, in general. And there's a lot of experimentation going on at the minute. There's a lot of copycat projects and things like that. But there's new things being tried as well, like Nine Chronicles, going fully on the blockchain, and there's like teething issues with all of these different things. But it's a hugely exciting area, and I'm totally sold on this idea of digital ownership, play to earn mechanics, where you're basically creating your ecosystem, but instead of bringing in money, you're more focused on bringing in community, letting them earn, letting them build. It's I'm totally sold on it at the minute.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I've had sort of 5 or 6 years creating content in the crypto space, and looking at charts and the next hot project, blah blah blah. All of a sudden, the Hardforking channel has turned very much into a gaming channel in recent times, and we're pretty happy with that. Actually, we've got a wonderful community. We're almost sort of building just this online business with all our play to earners and so forth. It's opened my eyes to the real development that I actually see happening on blockchain. So much of that is in gaming. It's incredible.
In economic terms, I seeing like trickle down economics, and redistribution of wealth, right? Like in particular now, currently in the market, you're getting people making like crazy amounts of money in Ethereum, with trading alts and doing NFT, PFP projects. And instead of the money going back in fiat, there's places now where people can reinvest the crypto and actually build something with it, right? So you're seeing these guys that are, like hundreds and hundreds of ETH, but they're buying Axie teams, right? And so they're redistributing their wealth to these people in the Philippines and Venezuela and all across the world that normally would have no access to any of this wealth, right? They can invest. They don't have enough to start with. They don't have bank accounts. They don't have credit cards. So it's truly a special time to happening right now, I think.
Yeah.
And super excited to be part of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, guys, we really look forward to introducing you to our community and see if we can help get the word out about you. So it's going to be very interesting to get their feedback. Any sort of closing thoughts from you guys that you'd like to maybe address our community?
First of all, we will be part of the World Blockchain Summit at Dubai in October. So for the people close to this area, it's an opportunity to meet us physically on our stand. Then, game development, it require times, of course, but as you can see, based on our game already published on SideQuest, we are progressing well on a monthly basis, and we will target efficiently all the display to earn aspect to provide something similar as we can see in the most famous crypto games.
Man, I'll see you guys in Dubai. That sounds awesome. I totally need a reason to go somewhere. And Dubai is actually fairly easy to get to from Bangkok here. It's just one flight, only like 10 hours.
You should
But
be
It's not too bad. Dubai.
That would be awesome. I'm going to look into that actually, if it's still possible with the whole COVID and all that stuff. But I'm flying out of a dark red zone, so maybe not.
He's about to suggest he uses the company funds to go to Dubai, so we'll have a chat on that.
Yeah, Hardforking sponsors, yeah.
Okay, any closing thoughts from you, Matthew?
No, I don't think so. Thank you for having us on, and thank you for the content you guys put out. I know Johnny has been, I've known him for a while now, and he's been giving us a lot of gaming alpha, I would say. He was calling Axie from very, very early. But there's just a huge benefit from having like a video platform where you guys are sharing gameplay, talking about what's good, talking about some of the challenges. Hugely interesting. So yeah, no, thanks for having us on.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, so please jump into our Discord as well and meet some of the community in there. Obviously, I think we'll see you guys back here on the regular. So yeah, thanks so much for your time, Mr. Gonzo. Any parting comments?
No, really, I think we covered it all. I'm super excited. Giddy up. Let's go.
Awesome.
Let's go.
Okay, community, go and check these guys out. Links below. We want your feedback, and we'll have them back on, and we can talk about what you've told us. Do you like it?
Tell us what rebels you caught.
Exactly. Okay, thanks so much for your time, guys, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Cheers now.
Bye-bye. Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.